As with any report, it can only give you a glimpse of what happens. The next reports are from the front line. Says Nam, or otherwise known as marpole in Vancouver. More than you watching this, people need your support. People are singing, drumming, sharing foods and thoughts. Children are playing. It seems very peaceful, and considering all the hardships that they have to go through, hard to understand for bystanders, but also telling why those ones were sought out to be good slaves. People are peaceful and in good spirit. If you hear them calling the contenders of their land owners, let's not forget the repressions that they had and still have to undergo. Here, in stolen Coast Salish land, otherwise known as...
I usually say unceded instead of stolen.
Okay.
I don't know why. They probably mean the same thing, but anyway.
I'm trying to be more blunt so people know what I'm talking about.
The land was stolen from the very beginning.
We're here in unceded Coast Salish territory, otherwise known as BC. As in any colony, the actual news seldom makes it into the media.
4 Indigenous nations on whose traditional land the Olympics took place have openly supported the game.
But the reality is that Native folks are treated like second-class citizens on their own lands.
We're going through the same thing that the natives here in Vancouver are going through.
Even under Canadian law, those people are still sovereigns on their land, but they have no servants or jail to enforce it according to Western view. Here, our landlords fighting for their ancestors to be kept underground.
Dear friends, my name is Victor Guerin. I come from the Musqueam First Nation.
I'm Kim Guerin, Musqueam Indian band member.
Hey, my name is Cecilia Point. I'm a Musqueam band member, and I'm sort of speaking on behalf of the community today.
We're here protecting one of our sacred sites, the ancient village of Usnam. It's a place that includes burials of our ancestors. Usnam is a village site of the Huntkmeenam speaking people that dates back some 4,000 years. The Huntkmeenam speaking people, of which the Musqueam people are descendants, have always lived at the ocean shore. So at the time that this village was established, the ocean shore would have been here at this spot, which is in the present day neighborhood of Marpole in Vancouver, BC.
Heavens no. I think that independent media is crucially important, but also faces very steep challenges.
So, I mean, we just want some respect. I mean, we have offered a piece of land to trade for this piece of land. The province has to sign off on that, so they've been dragging their feet.
Why, how come offering a deal or like what did you say, a trade for something that doesn't belong to the city to begin with or to the province?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, that's a very good point. And in fact, a lot of the foreign media have asked that question because, you know, they've said, well, the province should pay for the whole thing. It was their mistake. We're putting land on the table because it's an emergency. Like if we're waiting for the province to actually have a treaty with us, you know, that could take another 100 years. And they'll just keep digging in the meantime. They'll keep digging us out of our burial grounds and our homes and everything else. So, I mean, Musqueam people used to live all over this place, out in Richmond and all over Vancouver, but as you know, when we're put on reserves, we're put on this tiny little patch of land. So the owner of the property actually has made that statement, you know, well, my family's owned this property for 50 years. Well, who did he buy it from? He didn't buy it from us. And like you said, we don't have a treaty, so, and at the time that he bought it, we were not legally allowed to purchase land. So it's an awkward, you know, I don't know how you reconcile that.
Then they pressed on toward the final blockade. It all seemed pretty easy, that is, until they reached the center of the Indian land and things came to a dramatic climax.
The good news is, if we can change the future, we can be the news.
If you want to make life count, welcome to a time where we can make up with the other slaves, unchain ourselves, and rise up against the oppressors. Have you ever heard about the Indian Act?
No, not quite.
Yeah, whatever. लेकिन इनमें से कोई भी दूर दूर तक शांति जैसी नहीं है. You know that, dude.
But it seems similar.
कोई ना कोई जरूर मिलेगी.
An Act Respecting Indians is the actual title, and even though it's known since just after Columbus screwed that up, an Indian is still referred to as a registered Indian.
That ridiculous piece of paper reads like the Slave Act, except for the fact that this is already existent under the name Canadian Ownership and Controlled Determination Act.
Hi, I'm Gregor, I'm of the Vancouver Media Co-op, and I'm here with Cecilia from the Musqueam Nation.
So welcome to a half an hour of reporting from the front lines.
It seems pretty peaceful here, so you might want to explain why this year is a local front line.
Okay, well in March of this year we learned that a developer had gained permits to begin digging up our ancestral remains to put in condos. So at that time our nation community members came down here and actually blockaded the gate to the site so that they had to stop construction. And after we were here for a few days, three days and a bit, all parties involved came to the negotiating table and agreed to a 3-week cooling off period. So we left the site at that time, and the developer got tired of waiting because the province was the last party to come to the table and they still haven't come.
The developer has stopped working, and the workers came and started picking up their tools and leaving and such, so we sort of thought we were in the clear.
So the developer and the owner are now shareholders in this property. After the cooling off period, they got tired of waiting and began work again on the site. At that time, they unearthed 2 of our infant burials. So we came together as a community and decided to hold a march that came up Granville Street from about 70th Avenue. And we were also joined by chiefs and representatives from other nations to show their solidarity with us. So we marched back down to this site, and we've stayed here ever since. And after about a week of that, the owner of the property got tired of waiting and started digging on the site again. So all of our members came down here, including the chief and including the Vancouver police, who went on the property and asked him to stop digging because it was way too agitating for our members, and they couldn't guarantee everyone's safety at that time. So
Thank you.
So we're not only here to talk about musqueam's issues.
I prepared a little piece about the Mayday here in Vancouver, the International Day of Worker Solidarity. Let's watch that piece now.
This is a real red hunt, and it's the first American red hunt.
7 policemen were killed, mostly by friendly fire.
Foreign-born workers under the leadership of anarchists were seen to be a threat of the First Order.
And that was Marshall Field the merchant prince.
But nonetheless, all 8 of them
He
were
said, in
convicted
effect,
on conspiracy
hang the
charges for
bastard.
having, quote, inspired
People
the
can
bomber.
standing on a
end
street
quote.
corner to
and
talk.
5 of those
If there's 3, you can
people were
arrest them.
sentenced to death by hanging.
And homes are entered without search warrants. All the union newspapers are closed down. Hundreds, literally hundreds
On May
of labor
1st,
leaders
in remembrance
are
of the
put
Haymarket
in
Massacre in 1886, people around the world got a sense. In this over 100-year-old tradition for rallies, riots or marches to gather strength to stand up against the 1%.
Workers on the wall! Relax!
Here in Vancouver, hundreds spend their afternoon with activities and entertainment at the rally and march organized by committed individuals.
It 1886, a group of non-protest workers went on strike, and they were striking for an 8-hour day.
The questions, answers, enemies and solutions are still the same. But today, more people are waking up, not wanting to poison their children or having to kill their neighbors to satisfy greed.
Colombia being the most dangerous country in the world to be a trade unionist, because you are very likely to be putting your life at risk to be a student activist, a trade union leader, or a human rights activist. And the Philippines is the second most dangerous country in the world to be a trade union activist. So it's so important that we reach out in solidarity to people who are more vulnerable than ourselves and to help strengthen their resolve as well.
When the rest of the world was setting up May 1st as International Solidarity Day and Labor Day,
just right now,
Canada and the United States set September as our Labor Day to divide us. It is shameful. They will do everything to divide us, and we need to come together like this. And I'm glad we're here on May 1st, International Solidarity Day, celebrating workers' rights. And glad you're all here, and it is a fabulous day. It's a perfect time to be together. Thank you.
In Iran, security forces attacked labor activists and their families in the city of Sanandaj, and they arrested 5 union activists today. Shame.
It's good to see you standing together, because that's what Mayday is about. And you know, we look in discussing some of the origins of Mayday in 1886, the Haymarket incident. You know, one of the things that's not often touched on is a lot of those people were immigrants to the country, and what was happening is that the government of the day was trying to divide those people from their natural basis of support, which is other people that work for a living. And we're seeing that today. And one of the places we're seeing that is in Quebec. And speaking in a very personal capacity, in Quebec right now, the students are carrying out an epic struggle. It's the longest student strike in the history of Quebec. The last one was in 2005 against the proposed reduction in the system of grants. They wanted to turn it into loans. They wanted to turn it into this kind of indebted bondage that people are kept into. And we're seeing that student debt is now becoming a new bubble in comparison to like the real estate bubble. Over $1 trillion in the US alone. And they won that struggle. When people get together and they work with each other, is that the violent repression comes out. So Mayday is about the spirit of overcoming that, and that's through international solidarity. And we're going to need that. We can take a page and we can take a cue from the Quebec workers and looking at what the current government is trying to do with the Temporary Foreign Workers Program. And we can look back to Haymarket, we can see the necessity of standing with and uplifting everyone to have those same rights that we aspire to have, especially in the labor movement. So thank you very much.
In fact, what this arrogant government has done, they have removed the illegal unconstitutional parts of Bills 27, 28 and put it word for word back into Bill 22. It shows the contempt for the BC Supreme Court and Justice Griffin's decision.
Only in British Columbia, Yertle the turtle has become such a political hotbed here, coming out of Prince Rupert. Can you believe that? Symptomatic of what's happening in our province under our BC Liberal government, that this has become a freedom of speech issue. And the quote that's too political for students. I know up on top you are seeing great sights. This is Mac the Turtle. But down here on the bottom, we too should have rights.
Sail away,
consulted me about tankers coming in here, and I thought about it because I'm a Genesis, and I said, no tank you. Yeah, no thank you. I was looking too, I saw a sign that said General Strike, and I think I know the guy. I think we beat him at Little Bighorn.
So that was a nice display of solidarity, similar to what we're seeing here at our site.
Over the last few days, daily impromptu ceremonies, drumming and singing happens here on site. High-ranking visitors are coming to the site to show their support.
So this week, a few days ago, Chief Sean Atleo, the Grand Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, came to show his solidarity, and he brought with him the BC representative, Chief Jody Wilson-Raybould. So here's a clip of Wade Grant, our councillor from the Musqueam First Nation, introducing them.
I want to once again thank each and every one of you, band members, neighboring nations, friends, for coming down and showing your support for the Musqueam people, for showing your support for our ancestors who are laid to rest across the street from us. It really, really brings a great sense of pride when we know we're not in this alone. When we can see friends not only from Vancouver, but from the Solo territory, from the North Island, from Western Vancouver Island, from the interior, right across this country to come together. Because although this is a situation involving the Musqueam people, it is a symptom of something greater that affects all Aboriginal people right across this country. A symptom where our people, our culture, and our history are not being respected, are not being recognized. So I wanted to thank you all for coming down to show your support on behalf of the Musqueam people. I specifically want to say thank you.
This is what Regional Chief Jody Wilson-Raybould had to say.
It's my pleasure to be here finally at this beautiful site to stand with my brothers and sisters in support of Sesnaam and this sacred and historical and beautiful village on the Musqueam traditional territory. It's not the fault of the Musqueam people for wanting to live in one of the most beautiful places in British Columbia. And to have a village site and to do what we do in our protocols and want to bury our dead and respect our dead and honor them. And I know that we all have our ways in our own cultures that we need to ensure that we respect those who have passed, respect this beautiful site. Not only does it represent the future of the Musqueam people, but it represents the future of us as First Nations people in this city and in this province and in this country, and the amazing contributions that our people have to give to each other and to the country. And hearing that there was 2 infant skeletons found on this site, just and the desecration that occurred to them just broke my heart, as I know it broke everybody's heart. It was my pleasure on behalf of the 203 First Nations in this great province to lend our unwavering support to the Musqueam people. Our call on the provincial government to recognize the significance of this site and to respect the significance of this site and to change the laws, to amend the laws so that they're appropriate to our and respect our people. So I, as a regional chief and as a council member and as a citizen in my own community and a citizen of British Columbia First Nations, I am deeply honored to be here, share this time with you, and our support to you. I'm really honored to be here with Grand Chief Stuart Phillip and our National Chief, of course, and I know that Chief White is in the United Nations right now talking about Sesnaam. Because they're running over us.
So Sean Atleo is telling us that what we're doing to look after our ancestors is following the teaching from our elders, teaching us to be aware of our surroundings and to be stewards of the earth.
We also have of that little video clip prepared.
Musqueam, I want to thank my friend Wade, and I got to congratulate you, Musqueam, for raising up brilliant leaders, young leaders that are stepping in, learning from their elders, taking their rightful place. You can see that he comes from good teachings, strong family, and amongst the Musqueam we see the young people carrying themselves this way. My language acknowledging the elders who are here, those that I've spoken to, affirming that they're here every single day, they said. Every single day, us young people, we can learn. We can learn from watching, from listening, from inspiration that the elders are providing. That you will win this because of the elders leading the way. Young people are stepping in. In any of our cultures, as it is with mine, when it comes to a loved one passing away, the elders will remind us, who, be careful, be careful. Life is precious. Life is precious. We have to be very aware of our surroundings at all times. And so it is that this story, as the Grand Chief is saying, is a story of the Musqueam. It's a story of your ancestors. But as you can see, it's a story of those who are now living here in your territory. It's non-First Nations people that are standing here with you. Even the Vancouver Renters Union is standing here with you. Respected elders, traditional, hereditary, and spiritual leaders, matriarchs, brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors. I'd like to say once again it's a great honor to be here at this special and sacred place. It's a great honor to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the Musqueam people. As I have said many, many times, I'm so deeply proud of each and every one of you. How the Government of Canada and the Province of British Columbia, and certainly business and industry, treat us like a faceless people. And they think because we're what they consider to be a faceless people, we have no rights. We have no right to stand here and defend this sacred ground.
Chief Stuart Phillip from the Union of BC Indian Chiefs has been here with us since almost the beginning, showing great leadership, and he stood with us almost every day, in particular the long rainy days, so we're very thankful for that.
I have here a little clip prepared from elders putting potentially their life on the line a few days ago in White Rock.
And over the screaming, I heard a clear voice.
Cinco de Mayo, in which in 1862 the way outnumbered Mexicans beat the best army in the world protecting their city Puebla from the colonizers. Giving the resistance a boost back then, today in the name of connecting the dots, 350.org and stopcoal.ca hosted an event to stop all coal trains for a period of at least 24 hours and to remind people that we all have to become active in a fight for a better world.
The issue this morning for all of the people who are here is the coal trains going through coal being transferred out of the ground and being transported elsewhere, and as the trains pass through, we get all the coal dust. So that is the issue. Well, I think when you see all these people, that indicates that people are concerned.
The decision is that if a train comes that we are going to stop, that we will go down.
I'm here to support this group in fighting to stop climate change. And so the whole symbolism of stopping the coal train is coal is a very large contributor to carbon dioxide and global warming. So we're trying to tell people that, you know, it is possible for citizens to do actions like this on the ground, and there is no change without pressure. When you're fighting an issue like the Raven Mine, it's hard to ignore what else is going on in the world, and you realize that everything is all connected. So we're doing an event today, 350.org, and people all over the world are standing up and taking pictures of themselves with dots with their issues. And so we did that here today, and we're just part of a whole global movement to try and bring some kind of sanity to the world and, you know, stop this crazy race to the bottom. Or 350 parts per million is the point where, you know, you're still safe, but once it gets over that, then the global warming goes much quicker. And right now we're around 390. So we're in a lot of trouble, and we're just trying to get people to realize that, you know, we don't have to go back to living in caves. We can live more simple, sustainable lives, but we can't carry on the way that we're carrying on. And the main reason I'm here today is for my grandson, because I want him to have a future, a bright future. So that's why I'm here, is to stand up for future generations, for our children and their children, and we just need to make change, and you don't have change without pressure, so we're the pressure.
It's in the rich man's dreams, it's in the poor man's hands, it's in the body bags along the Rio Grande, it's in the evening shade, it's on the zealot's tongue, it's in the widow's tears, and it's in the miner's lungs. Now we could cut and run, take half the blame. Yeah, don't stop now, that's why we came.
I've never been arrested. I've never done anything like this before. We have to stand up for our rights in this country, and we have to stand up for the planet. And if it takes going to jail, then that's what it's going to take.
So those people looked very committed at their action. Did they actually stop the train, or?
Yeah. Yes, they actually stopped the train, but this is going to be subject for another episode. So our time here is almost over for today.
So I hope you learned something about the musqueam people and what happens to Indigenous people all over the world. And if you want to help us out, we'd welcome you coming down to our site to spend a couple of hours, have some coffee, hold up a sign. We're keeping a 24-hour vigil here until we get our land back.
Which might be, in fact, for another half year. And that's where we're going to be as well. So support your local struggle, wherever that may be. And if you're around here, come by at the site.
Get 1 to 3 or probation and a fine. Well, I know where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be right on that front line for Joe Hill and Cesar Chavez, who fought in their own time for our brothers and our sisters.
You know, if you're looking at getting recognition from government chiefs going to the provincial government, I mean, that's like putting your hand in the mouth of a great white shark. Are you going to get your hand back? You know, we're talking about Victoria. You know, it's not a place where they recognize that Aboriginal people were the first peoples of this land here.